Good evening. My name is Bibi, and perhaps you have not done any coaching with me in the past, but if it's your first, I want to say to you, very welcome. Today, I want to speak about losing weight. Now, if you are listening to this, then you must be one of those people, the same as me, that knows absolutely everything about a diet, that knows how to lose weight, what to do, what to eat, what works, what doesn't work, and how to get the quickest into a pair of smaller pants. However, my whole life I've been doing this. I've went up and down with my weight. I have been on very successful weight loss programs, and just in a short while again, you're back to your old, bigger self. So today I am not actually speaking about diet per se. Personally, I have lost quite a bit of weight by doing intermittent fasting, then went over and on a combination of keto, bunting, high protein diet. I drink loads and loads of water. I work on a cruise ship as well. I had to do my medical and I wanted to make sure that I'm in great health. So I just really started eating a bit better. But only after my medical, I really felt so amazing. I was happy, I was positive, and I just got into the program and started losing weight. But that's not really what I want to speak to you about, because I am not a specialist on dieting at all. I have my own loads and loads of knowledge that I have researched. My friend is a doctor, and he has been telling me to do more exercise and drinking more water and eating differently. But I never listened. I wanted to get there by using supplements and easier ways to lose weight. And I've done all those things that he asked me to do. But that something actually inside here changed. You see, in this lockdown time that we've been isolated, I did a lot of work on myself. And the people that are the closest to me, they always know that I have very, very high intelligence when it comes to my personal feelings, about awareness, about emotions. It is, I do it for a life. But in this time, I have dig a bit deeper. I've studied much more than I've ever did because I had much more time for that. But more importantly, I started using it on me and implementing it in my life. And there's a quite a chunk on a personal side about family and that, and I'm not going to share about that tonight because that was almost kind of my last piece of the cake that I had to work on. And for me, it is a very, very personal, spiritual thing that I had to confess to the Lord, surrender to the Lord, and made peace with that. So for those of you that knows me very well, knows that there's still this little dark place in my life, and maybe wonder when I'm going to tackle that. I have. And I'm waiting for it to sip through my DNA so that I can see the progress. But I want to speak about something that is maybe more important than anything. It's not my intermittent fasting that helped me to lose weight. It's not the high protein diet. It helped, for sure. It changed my lifestyle, but my coaching program also is not isolated. That changed my life or how I feel. I think in this time that I've been away from everybody and everything. I said to a very good friend of mine tonight, him and myself were texting each other, that the lockdown almost for me was a bit different, on such a different level than for most people. And besides all the trauma around work and finances and the fear and everything that goes on with that, I also dealt with something very profound in terms of personal feelings towards somebody very close to me. And in this process of me preparing coaching and training and things, something inside me changed. And it's a very strange thing that happened. I am a very forgiving person, and I'm also an extreme giving person. And people close to me always, I think, knows that they know that I will always be there for them and keep things going and put energy in. And on some level, I started to feel that the people closest to me are, in a way, seeing myself as a vaccine, seeing myself as antibiotics, because they would reach out and they would be there when the chips are really down for them. And in spite of my personal feelings about what they've not done or not been there or haven't contributed in a two-way relationship, I would put it aside, I would forgive and move on. I think I have been living abroad, working abroad all over the years, all over the world for years. And I think the people closest to me would never, ever be able to say that I have not made an effort to always, always stay in touch. Today, my other friend said to me, you know, people get busy and a household and then they just move on. And I said, I agree, but not me. I know that I work in hospitality, that many days, and I work remotely, so I don't work, you know, office hours and go home. I lived for many years on an island. I work 14, 15, 16 hours a day. And, you know, where I work on a cruise ship now, your schedule is 10 hours, but we all know that it is activities and things that goes on. But I always go at the end of the day, check my messages, and even though I haven't had time to respond to things, I would make an effort with my friends. I've always been like that all over the world, all of my life. But in this time of COVID, something happened to me. In the beginning, I felt extremely emotional and felt a compassion for people. I reached out to people I haven't spoke to from ages and all my friends to speak, to motivate, to keep them going. And the longer times have passed on, the longer and harder I work to do things to support them and help them and lift their spirits. But in that whole process, something changed in me. I don't know exactly how to explain to you. It is like that self-worth factor in me changed. And suddenly it came to me that if I always have to do everything and you just show up and use my gifts, my passion, my love, my beauty, everything that I have to give to you, and you just suck me dry like a lemon, and then you flutter off and you go, then if you couldn't be there for me in the most critical times in our life, how are you going to be there in the good times? And slowly but surely, I have realized that there's a couple of people in my personal life that this lesson is actually goes with detox your relationships, but there's a couple of people in my life that I feel like they are dry wood, and they are not uplifting. They're not building me. I had a wonderful friend. We've been friends for ages. And I have sent messages and encouragement and notes and everything for weeks at end. And the minute she called me, she was explaining how disastrous her life is, invited me for lunch. I think up to now, she still did not ask, and how are you? But in this time, I have grown into to become really into my own skin, to truly in the bottom of my heart, I've reached a place where I look at myself. And my other friend, he always says we have to look in the mirror and say we're beautiful and gorgeous. And I've done that. I've followed his advice. But it resonated now with me. And I felt suddenly that I don't want to work so hard. I don't want to, I have a saying always that I don't want to be someone's cruise director or entertainment director. If the relationship can't be in harmony, then what is the use then to have this relationship if one of us have to be the cruise director to keep on making all the bubbles stay in the air? And without me working it, something started to change. And I started looking at people in my life, and I feel like, things have changed. I understand circumstances do play a role. Some of my friends most probably feel, well, you don't live in South Africa anymore, so, why bother? I understand that. But on a deep psychological level, I have made peace. And I've elevated myself in my feelings, in my confidence, and my self-worth. And if you know me, I'm sure you're going to sit back and think, but Bibi is always full of confidence and she doesn't lack confidence. And you're right, I don't. Confidence, I have confidence. I can do anything that I put my heart to. But deep in my soul, I did, and working through that, suffered of a low self-worth. That on a subconscious level, I think that I don't deserve your respect. I don't deserve your time, your kindness, your love, your dedication, your trust, the fact that you need to be trustworthy. I just accepted that you can give me crumbs and that I will accept that. And all that changed. And why I'm sharing this very, very personal step with you is because I think it has got all to do with eating. You see, I have a sweet tooth and I love cake. I absolutely love cake, and I have my treats, and I love scones and I love clotted cream. There's many things I love that is sweet. And my behavior is that when I am very upset, very lonely, very emotional, unhappy, angry, stressed, depressed, lonely, longing for someone, the easiest way for me to do is to get into my car and order a nice piece of cake and coffee. And in this time, when I started really seeing myself in a different light and how I want to look a look on the outside, slowly but surely, I had no crutch needed to get me through anger, disappointment, or heartache. And something inside started changing. My self-worth started changing. And without me needing to work to get my weight down and lose weight, suddenly I started feeling different about myself. I always said to my friend the other day that I know that I have a lot of knowledge, experience, wisdom, and I don't make an excuse for that. I've worked very hard to have those gifts, and many of those gifts was given to me by the higher being, and I accept that. But I always had to depend on that instead of my outer appearance or my sexuality or my femininity, because my self-worth was so low. And if you have a low self-worth, you're giving so much more than what you receive, because you want to compensate. You want somebody to want you. You want somebody to love you. You want people to need you. And when you heal that brokenness, that low self-esteem, that self-worth that is not intact, when that is healed, you can take a step back and you start changing. You start changing your lifestyle. You start changing the way you feel about somebody, about love, about relationships, about work, about the people you work with, the people in your life, your friends. And without you needing to do a thing, you're starting to change. Now, my story can be applicable for your career. My story can be applicable for where you see yourself in the future. Tonight, today, my story is about weight loss, because that is something that we all struggle with. And it doesn't mean, I know that I have some friends in my life that's very critical, that will say, you know, we just wait until you pick up that weight again. I have done something different. I always had a saying that says, you know, I've never loved someone so much that when we apart or we had some challenges between us, that I lost all my weight. So now that I finally lost all my weight, or not everything yet, but I've chunked a lot of it away, I finally can say most probably he is the one, because of heartache and sorrow and pain in this time, what happened to all of us. I also lost weight. So today's coaching is enhancement of your current program, of the diet that you're taking, the exercise program that you're taking. Please continue with that. I'm giving you a powerful process that will be embedded deep into your subconscious mind, where you will set up your intentions, and one time listening to it will not change. So the more you listen to it, the better it's going to be. I'm also combining it with powerful tools of emotional freedom technique, and I'm giving you small little videos to teach you exactly how to do that combination. And once you do that, and you combine this with a very deep meditation, you are setting yourself up for success. Now, I would like to invite you, if you would like to work a bit more on yourself, on your relationships, on things to make you get to a better place, you are so welcome to contact me to see how I can support you on other ways as well. But for today, I just want to say to you, look in the mirror and tell yourself that you are gorgeous, that you are beautiful, and that you are strong. And that's got nothing to do with how you look on the outside. but do you have what it takes inside? And that I want you to get. Thank you so much for allowing me inside your most personal space and your most personal feelings, because losing weight is a very personal thing for all of us. But I can guarantee you that confidence and the love and the passion that you feel again by feeling great, by feeling energy bursting through you and feeling that vitality inside of you, that is worth everything. And I'd love you to follow that. As a last warning or caution, this is coaching. Please follow your diet program. And if you need anything medical, please consult with a medical doctor for all your other concerns and for all other needs you have. Have a wonderful evening and happy dieting.